Good morning, friends. I'm sorry that I have to kind of teach a little bit remotely, but I will see you later this afternoon. I wanted to share this math lesson with you today while I'm working with our fourth graders. So here we are in FlexPoint Math 13.04. We know our class norms. We show respect by staying on topic and focus on solutions, like creating a video for you today, instead of worrying about the problems, and we make great decisions, just like you all did by watching this video and participating and completing your assignment in math. Yesterday, we looked at comparing fractions with the same denominator. We know the denominator is down on the bottom, but today we're going to look at using comparing with the numerator, and the numerator is the number on the top. Remember, the numerator is the number of pieces that we have, and the denominator is the number of pieces that the whole is cut into. So we're going to use those greater than, equal to, and less than symbols. Well, when we're talking about the same numerator, that means the number on the top is the same. Nan needs some help to find out which fraction is larger. Well, I know that I have the same amount of pieces, but are the pieces the same size? This one says this fraction strip has been cut into 8 pieces. And this one says this fraction strip has been cut into 6. That's me thinking about it again. Do I want to share my candy bar with 8 friends? Or do I only want to share with 6? What will give me the most of my candy bar? And it's not that we don't like to share, but we do want to have as much candy as possible when we are thinking about fractions. So when I divide by an even number something into a fraction strip, I always start by breaking it down the middle. Now for 8, I know that on each side, half of 8 is 4, so I know that I need to have 4 on there. So I'm going to divide my half into 2s. And then I'm going to divide those 2s into 8s. And that way I have equal sized pieces. And my lines aren't perfectly straight, but they're pretty close to being equal sized. For 6s, I know that half of 6 is 3. So I kind of have to anticipate where a space would be in the middle. And now I've got my fraction strips just about equal. I want to shade these into model. I can already kind of see, can you tell which pieces are smaller? Yeah, the 8s look a little bit smaller than those 6. But let's compare just to make sure. So I'm going to get my handy dandy highlighter. We'll do a light green today. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this brings me just about to 5/8. This brings me just about to 5/8 right here. Now I'm going to count 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 out of 6. And I could see that I only need 1 more to have my whole when it's cut into 6. But I need 3 more when it's cut into 8s. So I can see that the 5/8 is going to be smaller when I think about the whole candy bar, but the 5/6 is going to be larger. And again, I'll upload this to our math tools, some fraction strips up to 8 if you want some with colors. I know we have them printed out as well, but I'll put these on the Schoology page. We could see that when I'm only sharing with 2 people, I have quite a lot. But the more people I share with, here's 4ths, 5ths, 6ths, 7ths. By the time I'm sharing with 8 people, I have a very small piece of that candy bar. So we'll use this and keep going back to this as we solve these next problems. Birdie loves pies. She ate 3/4 of a cherry pie and 3/6 of an apple pie. Which pie did she eat the least of? Again, my numerator is the same, but my denominators are different. What happens when I have a larger denominator? Do the pieces get larger or smaller? I can see what they look like here. 4 is smaller than 6. And I look, when I cut my pie into 4 pieces, I can compare those size of those pies. So I see that the 4ths are larger than the 6. I have 3 6 and I have 3 4ths. If I have 3 size pieces that are larger compared to 3 pieces that are smaller, which one would give me the least? And this one is a trick one. I tell you, these test makers are always tricky, and they always do these silly things where they switch it. One time it'll be the least, the next time it'll be the most. You have to pay close attention to that. Did you make a prediction? Well, I'm going to try to figure out which one she did the least. So here's 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. So that's 3 4ths. I just need 1 more 4th and then I've got the whole pie. Let's look at this 3 6. 1 6, 2 6, 3 6. Remember, they're asking for the least. Which one is the least? Well, I'm going to use that greater than or less than. Remember, the alligator always eats the bigger one. I can see that this one is larger. When I squint, I can see that more of my pie, and when you kind of squint, those little lines in between the pieces disappear. So when I'm squinting at them, all I see is that green, and I can tell that there's a lot more green on the 3/8, which means she ate the least when she had a 3 6 of that pie. Do you remember our equivalents? What is 3 6 equivalent to? All right, so now I'm going to look at this one. I'm going to use the knowledge that I have, and maybe we could peek back at our fraction strips too. 2/3 or 2 6. Think about those pieces, friends. When I have thirds, how big are my pieces? When I have 6, how big are those pieces? I have 2 6, I've got just these pieces over here. But if I have 2/3, I have this piece and this piece. 2/3. Which one is going to give me more? Yep, the 2/3. And I know that that 2/3 is going to be larger. The alligator is going to eat that one because my denominator is smaller. It's cut into less pieces. When the numerator is the same and the denominator is larger or different, the smaller the denominator, the larger the piece. Oops, I'll put that line over there. The smaller the denominator, the larger the piece. So I want you to think about these next ones. I'm going to give you the answers, but I'm going to give you a second to predict it. Both the numerators are 5. Here, the denominator, they're sharing with 8 people. Here, they're only sharing with 6. Which one is going to give me more? Yep, it's going to be those 6. The pieces are going to be larger when you only share with 6 as compared to when you only share with 8. 3/8 and 3/4. Which one is going to give you the most? Which one is the alligator going to eat? Yeah, when I look at this, if I have 3/4, I go all the way out to here. If I have 3/8, 1, 2, 3, I'm only down a year. 8ths are much smaller than 4ths. So if I have 3/8 and 3/4, the alligator is going to eat the 3/4. The 4ths are larger. Look at this one. Oh, this one is tricky. 2/4 versus 2/2. How much is 2/2 equal to? What happens when I have the numerator that's the same as the denominator? How much do we have? I have 2 out of 4. Well, I know 2 is half of 4. Let's double check over here. 1, 2. I've got the whole thing when my numerator is the same as the denominator. But if I've only got 2/4, I've only got half of it. So that alligator is going to eat the 2/2. All right, super duper friends. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm going to save this last sheet so that when we check in together, we can practice a little bit more. I see there's some practice that we could have when we meet again in person on Monday for math. I will see you later this afternoon for science and for time and memorial. But for right now, I'm going to wrap this up. Remember, equivalent fractions, so equal amounts as a whole, but have different denominators. The whole numbers can be represented by fractions that have all the pieces. And we know that as the denominator gets larger, we're sharing with more people, so the pieces get smaller. The numerator is the number of pieces I have, and the denominator, which is down on the bottom, tells me how many pieces my whole is cut into. All right, super friends, I'm very grateful that you were here today, and I will see you for science and for time in memorial. Bye.